it's not easy to be an activist, one, especially if you're young, and we wake up every day. When you come back at home, they think you are working. At the end of the month, they expect you to put bread on the table, and you tell them, hey, boy, I'm not working. They're like, but you wake up every day. They don't understand. And activist is someone that's you have a passion of something, or you're not prepared for it. That's one.
Comes with STIs.
STIs. Are you prepared for STIs? Khumbula ukuthi HIV is an STI engalapheki STI. There are different STIs. Are you prepared for those STIs? Imagine again now unengane and there's STIs. Are you prepared for that? So school, yes, simnandi, but responsibilities of that are those things.
Okay. Oh, Africa, it's another beautiful day where we are channeling and also shining the spotlights to the upcoming and also uploading those ones that have been doing it. It's another episode. I'm sure you will love it. Different as from the last one, where we unpack everything with Ngonyama Kumete, who's the veteran actor from Pageant. And I want to allude the fact that we spoke on our introduction based on gender-based violence, which is the case that was ongoing at the time by DJ Maporisa and Utuli Pongola. And I want to allude the fact that we are not afraid and we do not support anything that is related to let me just say, we are not afraid to say that we don't support gender-based violence. We were not afraid to say it at the time. I think because of the time, we were just passing by because we had a lot of the time to talk and interview Ngonyama Kumete. And I should say this because it's a matter that is very sensitive and which and as well publicly is shared, because everything that is always not been trending or everything that people don't talk about. They don't talk about issues that are pretty much sensitive all the time. They talk about things that are silly, things that are funny, So we just want to allude the fact that we do not support gender-based violence. We siyazwelana kakhulu nabo bonke abantu abayizisulu sale senzo sokuhlukunyezwa, especially kakhulu abantu besifazane, not only them but also to the in case of gender-based violence. So I just wanted to highlight that. So we are coming to you live from Ikulano Studio. Check out the catalog in their website page, which is www.fundani.ny.co.za. And thank you so much and shout out to them for opening the doors for us, which is squads to execute or whatever that you want to execute. So, and shout out to the community and as well as everybody that has been tuning to us since the very beginning of the first episode. Go to YouTube, comments, wherever, support our channel. So today we're talking everything community, the world, and the development of our people. And I'm joined by the lovely guests today. They look amazing. They look very shiny. None other than Sthabile and Uzzi. So know him as Uzzi, but Nkosinathi Kamalake. Welcome Mpungose. Welcome everybody.
Thank you so much for welcoming us.
Sorry, still saying my name.
I'm saying your name. Your name is very prophetic, by the way, and lovely, alluding to the fact of ukwamukela izinto eziningi. How did it came about?
I have no idea. I think it happened at hospital when I was born. And obviously our parents didn't know how to speak this language we are speaking now.
Yeah.
So when she was asked, okay, what are you going to name your child? I think she just looked down at the entry of the wardroom and just written welcome. And just said welcome. I don't know.
Boom.
Hey, welcome. And you were there, man. Hey, Sthabile, let me just allude the fact, because I want our guests to be channeled. I'm just gonna give them just a little bit of your bio.
Okay.
The phone is call. But to you, but because the score letter let's just feel so fast my iPhone, this is the another world. So because I read about you bio yakho kancane, you know, I went through it, that you are a community activist and also you have done a lot of things organizing amongst in the community and being in the space of development. How does that come about? How did you start? Where did it start? What vele nje wacabanga ukuthi okay ngizongena kulomkhakha le mina kwakusuka.
Okay, thank you so much for having me in your studio. Well, it started when I started pageants and also when I met Mr. Mpungose on my side. With pageants, you know, I'm a model, so I do have quite a number of titles. I am your Miss HIV Ambassador.
Wow.
I am your Miss Phenomenal Queen South Africa. Currently, I'm holding the title of Miss Unity South Africa. So, thank you.
So
I do have a lot of titles, about
Sure.
30 something, if I'm not sure. It started with pageants. I honestly did not look into pageants when I was growing up. But as I got out of school and then so many things were exposed, you know, on my feet. So people were starting to say, oh, you have such a nice body, you have such a nice smile, you know, you look cute
Those kind of
and
things.
you should be a model, you know, but I did not pay much attention to that until I started going into pageantry and I did my first competition. It was in high school in grade 12. I was modeling with so many learners. I was scared, I was shy. That was me back then. You know, I could not even speak like this in front of people or in
Sure.
front of it,
The
let
camera.
alone my voice, my projection. It was always like, you know. But yeah, I was very shy. Yeah, you could say that. But I did my first competition in high school, didn't go well. Went out of high school, entered another one because people kept on saying, hi boy, hey, you should try this. Didn't go well as well. Went home crying to mom. Mom was like, you know what, just carry on doing it for experience and you're gonna do good. So I kept on entering pageants until on my fourth try I won a pageant. I did not become first runner up or second runner up. When I did it, I became queen.
Wow.
So there was this thing of always entering pageants just for the fun of it, until I grew up and I got to understand the main purpose of pageants. I started seeing people doing charity work, things people are passionate about, and really I'm such a person who's giving. So I saw a platform at that moment to say, you know what, let me focus on this, and I'm sure izoqhubekela phambili kube nempumelelo enhle. So I started doing charity work. I started going to charity homes. I started, you know, all those things. Ukusiza umuntu aseduze, even renting out my dresses, ngibanike before mahala abanye. And it started like that. And then in 2017, I entered a pageant which was called Mr. and Miss HIV Ambassador.
Okay.
La Payana, where you share, actually we're just fighting against the stigma of HIV, because we all know that people still have that.
For sure.
Hey, HIV, ooh,
Hey.
don't come next to me, ooh, suzofa.
Yeah.
You know, we were fighting against that if you are HIV positive, it's okay. If you're HIV negative, that's great. Stay negative, but we all the same, and we are all in the same space, and we're trying to achieve one goal. And also fighting policies for young people who would see but recognize when they go to clinics. You know, so through him, he's the owner of Mr. and Miss HIV Ambassador.
Wow.
So through that, I've been, you know, in programs, facilitating programs, how to protect yourself from getting HIV, and yeah, it's been great.
It's been a very wonderful journey.
Yeah, it has been.
Wow, that's interesting. Speaking to umuntu okuchanelile, who you pointed out ukuthi welcome.
Yes.
Mr. Uzzi is the one who plugged you kule industry. Mr. Uzzi, how did you arrive here where you are? You know, you have been doing it. We meet across the spaces where there and there in the social development space. How did you arrive to the fact that you would see, as in, this is the thing that I want to do?
I think I'm a dreamer, so I used to dream a lot of things. I wanted so many things in my life, up until I realized that sometimes you need to take a first step. And taking a first step was to first fix my surroundings. So as a person, I grew up from boarding school. So when I came back home, I realized, hey, I thought boarding school was just a punishment for me, but it was actually,
of course,
a space where I was skilled and sharpened enough to see something that is negative as an opportunity for me to actually, fix it.
For sure.
So it started like that. Then I started, worrying about things that are not good in my community, things are not good in my surrounding, things that are not good in my country. Then I realized not everyone have to go on the streets and bend tires if government is not doing well. Some have to go and study their documents so that they can actually find out what is it that they wrote, so that when we fight, we're fighting with knowledge. When police, every march ends with the MOU.
For sure.
So if you're just marching and burning tires and then police stops you and say,
make sense.
Why are you angry? And you don't know how to say why you're angry, then I saw we're gonna have a problem. So some of us must go and study these documents, so that if they stop the march and say why you're marching, we must be able to tell them this is the reason. Government say they will be doing this is the promise, this is the policy, this is the document, and they're going left instead of taking right. But then I started falling in love with the work, because for me it's a fulfillment, to make something that will make someone smile, to feel important, to see them moving from one point to another, close to their dreams or close to their achievement. Wow. So that is my drive. Wow. And that's what actually got me here today.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Beautiful but crazy, man. This is a space that I want. I'm gonna be a social activist. I'm gonna be in the middle of the community and interacting. What is the important and the value of themselves? It must be crazy, but at the same time, very, very super important. So, what is a community activist on your own weight, knowing, because you are in the industry and you are in the sector doing it? For you, just educating. I love the fact that you are coming from the facilitating background. You have your own, and also you. So today we're gonna facilitate and also educate Abantu mostly, because they don't know, Uzzi. They're not you. They don't have the knowledge, the structures, and the background of what exactly is social development, or actually being an activist. Uzzi, how does it take? How does one get into this sector? So, Ngogwenu, what is an activist? Ngogwenu, a community activist.
I can start with that one.
Okay.
But one must always highlight that it didn't start from Utingzalo Sengi. My background is engineering. Mechanical engineering. But I'm so much in love with humanity work. Everything that I do is around humanity. So coming back to the question, what is an activist?
Yes.
For me, an activist is someone who first has a concern, and not just concern, but also interested in making something that's not correct to be corrected.
For sure.
That's an activist, because you don't get paid to be an activist, but you get fulfillment by advocating for something, and when you see it changing, when you see it taking shape, towards what you would want to see it. So first you must have a concern. You must be worried if you puma again and you see that the debt is piling up, on those what you call illegal dumping sites. And if you're not concerned, you are gonna get sick.
For sure.
If you're not gonna die, because you're gonna attract a lot of bad things, bacteria that might end up putting you in trouble. So be concerned and start asking the councillor, start calling DSW, start asking people around, can we clean? Can we move this away from us, away from our little brothers and sisters that might go and play, then be injured or get sick. So it's a concern that you must first have, and then have a willingness to advocate for that concern.
Wow. For you, Sthabile?
It's always so hard talking after him, because he just scoops everything up. But for me, it's also fighting for the rights of other people. As long as you see something wrong and you want to fight for that thing. That's being an activist, for fighting for other people, fighting for yourself, seeing something wrong and wanting to make it right.
Wow. Hey, this is beautiful for coming to you live from Kulana Studio. And I have already goosebumps, talking to you guys, because I'm sure today I told you you're gonna be educated. Keep on. So now you are the community activist. You must see la kune kinga khona ukuze ukwazi ungenelela khona. It's more like being in the business. You can't just start a business. You must have a vision. And so how do you channel yourself from the structures of a community? So now usuqalile wacabanga ukuthi okay, kunodoti la emphakathini, sihlanganisa kanjani ukuze sikwazi ukuthi siqoqe noma sihlangane sonke sengabantu? Where are the structures that you go to ukuze ukwazi ukuhlanganisa even resources to do whatever inkinga oyibona ukuthi iyona ukuze ukwazi ukulungiseka?
You want me to start now?
I don't want.
Silent is like throwing it to you.
I think it's not easy to be an activist. One, especially if you're young and we wake up every day. When you come back at home, they think you are working. At the end of the month, they expect you to put bread on the table and you tell them, hey, but I'm not working. They're like, but you wake up every day. They don't understand. And activist is someone that's have a passion of something. You must be passionate of doing something, because if you're not passionate about it, then you'll get tired and you'll leave it. So understanding structures, obviously, if now you have a concern of something and you like to tackle that, you'll go around. First you start with your friends. Guys, do you know anyone that knows any information? This is what is worrying me and I want to try and tackle it. If they don't know it, you ask people around your community. If they don't know it, then okay, there's a counselor's office, but lucky for us, I think counselors, they always, maybe they are number 15 in our list, because now we understand who to go to for a certain problem. When we know that everything is red tapes, then we go for a counselor, because we know now we have to use the political influence to have whatever that we want. Otherwise, there are different channels that we can use. Number one, I have an organization. So I have a team. It's either we do it as a team so that they can be encouraged in the community to follow us. So there are different ways of doing it. We can start as my organization to come and clean up, and those that are seeing something good, they will join. If I could just share what happened during looting.
Yes.
When it was looting, now my organization members, they really get stressed when they're not doing anything, irrespective if there's funding or no funding of our programs. If they are home, they'll be always asking, so when after looting in malls were like, it was like after war when you go past malls, and then they asked, what can we do? And I told them, okay, let's create the hashtag clean up my community. Let's see who tags on it on Facebook, who likes it on our status. We create a group, we share a link. Those that are interested will join the group. And then from there we'll tell them this day we're going. We did that. No one joined the group. We said as an organization it's fine. Let's go there. Mind you, we don't have a car, we don't have tools to clean. But we went to few people that we knew. They gave us gloves, they gave us those bin bags, and then we went to Kwamashi station. That's where we started. And then when we started cleaning the rank. So the tax association got interested of saying, we're cleaning the rank. Then they asked us, are we association? When we told them, no, we're not even part of association, but we know that if we start cleaning the rank, tax will be able to come and park here, so people can, because now it was very difficult for people to travel because there was no ranks as well. They got interested. They were like, okay, how can we help? We told them, if you can come and join us, that will be very nice, because we don't want anyone's money, we just want people's passion and people's heart to come and do this. When association joined, my counselor started calling me, say, hey, I'm seeing the posters, how can we join? And I told him yes. They started inviting other comrades.
So no
we started my organization.
wasebona after.
And then, because unami on Facebook, unami on WhatsApp, like, I see what you are doing. How can you assist? When I told him, he started telling other councillors,
Around.
Around and saying, no, we're going to help this guy. We know he's always doing something good for community. Let's go and assist him. Before you know it, I was getting calls from NYTA. Hey, we have gloves, we have t-shirt, we have what? Someone else started calling me, hey, we have food for the volunteers because they'll get hungry, And then it started to become a big project. From station, we went to Bridge City. From Bridge City, we went to Inanda Mall. From Inanda Mall, we went to Dube Village. From Dube Village, we started moving. And people from Umlazi, they were like, hey, we like what you guys are doing. Can we join? I said, no, don't join the North one. Start the hashtag to the South Coast and then we'll come and join you. And then people from Claremont were like, hey guys, we're seeing what you're doing. They said, start from your streets. Others were saying, but we don't have shopping malls. Then we told them, yeah, but there are tuck shop that people ban. Start from the tuck shop. We don't need to have a shopping mall. Start from your street. It was a big cleanup campaign after that. Municipalities started joining. And then they obviously have nice posters and banners. And then they were at the beach, and we call everyone to come and clean up the beach as well, and it was a very good thing. But it started from us saying, we know we don't have masses and we don't have resources. Maybe if we influence them with our actions, and that's what we did. So that's one way of doing it, but there are different methods that people can share to say this is how they would have done it, or this is what they can do, if they want to attract people to come and do something good.
Wow. So, akho la social development. Because ngiyezwa manje like khona la uthinte khona kancane ngase sothi ngikiyeke uqhubeke nenkulumo. Like one must ask ukuthi
it's a sad reality ukuthi activists sometimes takes them long to even our government to start recognizing people that are doing work on the ground. We look at people that have organizations. For them to get funding, it's difficult, but the amount of work that they are doing for their community is big, so it's not easy. Not every activity is not getting paid. Others, they do get paid, but obviously when you have already have a name for yourself, then big brands will like you to make you an ambassador and all of these things. But if you're still trying to grow your brand and then grow your profile, you must have a passion for that. Otherwise, along the road,
how much have you made possibly, like when personally biggest ever contract that you have ever get, or maybe something as in the active space, or in the active space, how much have you made?
For myself, it's very little, but for people around me, it's very huge. What we mean by saying that is that, for example, during COVID, our organization for the first time, they received funding from Department of Health, through Global Fund. People in the organization that we had to employ were nurses, and we had to pay nurses 3 times what I was getting as a director of the organization. For the first time, our organization was able to spend $1 million. $1 million. And we're like, but you don't have a house, we don't have a car. It was for community. That's another sad thing. And you must be able to, what can I say about this? But you must be able to. Yes, it's all about accounting. But for you to account, you must be very strict with yourself.
Disciplined as well.
I mean, you must be very disciplined. I wanted that name. You need to be disciplined, because I could have bought a car and a house and ask someone to write me a report. But because I was worried, we had 10 nurses, we had 25 social workers from social development, I had 10 staff from my own organizations. People that were coming outside of my organization, we had to give them more money, because when when they gave us funding, they told us a nurse must be paid this much. Now we are not nurses, so we had to take more money out of that to pay them, just so that our organization can have a good reputation. Number one, we must have impact, because it's in impact that we count more. We can have anything, but if the thing does not come back to impact of in that community, then we haven't done much. So it's an impact that was driving us, and that has made people believe that Uzzi is a millionaire. Uzzi has so much money. So when I tell them, like, guys, I'm home and get back, they're like, no, but you're paying nurses. You can't be telling us that. They don't understand that
Good say
every
3
cent
million
is accountable. Yabo. So yeah, so if I had to count, hey, I just passed 50k in so much years that I've been doing this.
I was uzucabanga ukuthi ngegarage ngithi ibheme.
How I wish when I saw that money, I was like, you know what?
Hey.
It's my time to shine.
Hey. You know when you have been working on something like passionately, freely and givingly, willingly as well, with your time and everything, and now ungeni imali, 3 million, 50 million, you'll be like,
take some for myself. Just a bit.
It's time, man. God
not
is
knowing
blessing me.
ukuthi siyasebenza la kumele bakhokhele nobonesi bakhokhele bonke abantu
And you
abakwi
end up
project
with
at the
nothing
end of the
literally.
day, because it's not yours, that money. Yeah,
for
but
the
it's for the
community, it's for
benefits of the
others.
community, which I love the fact that you've aligned when uzi ukuthi nawe wawungalingeka nanominini
Mfethu.
wawungayithatha nanominini lo mali,
Ibaleke
but
futhi.
you will hey wahlala kanje uzobanda sifuna ubanda beauty pageant ubomisi, and you transformed to the giving space. Is it something that vele ihlezi hamselana noma ubuhle buhlangana kanjani nokupha nokubuyisela emphakathini? Because I saw Uzzi, I think Uzzi Bin,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Each and every time when Umise wins something, she has to go back to the community and give.
Yeah.
Ubuhle buhlangana kanjani nokupha?
No, it goes with your heart, because there are people who win pageants and then they decide to not do anything with their titles, to not give away part of their money like we need.
Bakhona.
Yeah, there are people who do that. There's many of them.
Is it?
There's a lot of them. Which I can't say their names.
Yeah.
But it goes with your heart and your intention for being in love with your community and for being in love with what you do as well. I mean, even I myself, I have clothes at home. Yes, I have such a huge wardrobe, but I do.
I can imagine right now. She's
No, you know, my problem
Yeah.
is that whenever I see something I like, I buy it. I don't even think of ukuthi izohamselana nani, no. But then I end up with so much clothes. Then I end up giving them
it away.
Yeah, because it's something that I have inside of me, yabo. Because I remember even the previous years we would hlanganisa imali and then go to a beach with the other models, and we would buy a single, we'll buy drink, we'll buy KFC, we'll buy whatever, and then go to a market where Amapara, I don't want to say Amapara, they don't like being called that, but you know, everyone knows them as Amapara. So we would buy a single from a stall, then go to them, all in one place, and then they will have something to eat. I know it's not something that is reoccurring or constant, but for that day they will have something to eat. So it's something that comes from inside, not to guti. It's a must. Guti, when you're a beauty queen, mele uwenze lokho.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure Amapara ebona ukuthi ayekuse nabo miss bafikile ozothi
Yeah, and the nice thing about it is that
Spaja.
yeah, and the nice thing about that is that, you know, Miss Bapukudla ne.
Yeah.
When we're walking at night, they would greet us. Even
They
if
remember.
I don't recognize
They
their
remember.
Is
faces,
it?
they would remember my face and be
Wow.
like, "Hi, sister," you know. So you're like, okay, I did change someone's life. I did, you know, have some impact in their lives.
Wow. She's got a very unforgettable face, by the way. So obviously vela Amapara
Kumbula ngenkani.
azokhumbula nje Amapara ukuthi nangu lo muntu engibhobha ngayo ubusuku nemini. Wafika washintsha impilo yami.
Yeah.
That's nice. So now what have you been doing like lately nje past COVID, you know? Besikhuluma nje njoba tesihleli nje nani ukuthi we are still struggling even now.
Sure.
So I think it's a major issue now because Uzoa alluded to the fact ukuthi ubisi liyabiza esitolo, and talking about inflation and everything else. So, and we know ukuthi after ikhukhula kuba khona ikhukhula like
Yes.
and I like the fact that you are dealing with something very environmental and you are educating the youth as well for them. So how did you came about that nje ubone ukuthi as in Let us educate the youth in terms of the environment and the climate change and so whatsoever.
I've always had love for the for climate change. I don't know why. It's just something that I've always, I don't know how to explain it, but I've always been in love with learning more about climate change and keeping our environment clean. So when I got into spaces like this, and also because of him, I was given the title of being the climate change ambassador for South Africa, where now I do have a project on the way, which is Miss Climate Change Ambassador, where I want to get young people together to share ideas on how to preserve our environment, our country, into going into renewable resources and stuff like that. So with that project, I want them to tell us what they want to do in order to achieve all that, and probably, hopefully, find sponsors who are going to chip in and help that become a reality for them, because it is true that our planet is dying, and literally we should be trying all means to preserve it.
Kwathinta iphuzo elibalekile kakhulu, because ngeke ngathinta to the fact ukuthi siyesaba nama-flood, which is something that we didn't know KZN. So sazazi ukuthi nje kuyashisa kuphela, mekushisa mekubanda kuyabanda, yabo. So now kwaba khona ikhukhula, and we had to recover from that. So which was very hard. So Uzzi, the sponsors, how do we get to the part where we as now sesihlanganisile sahlangana sithole sponsor? Because you talked about 3 millions, the 50 millions that you
It was 50K.
50K, not million.
sihlanganisa kanjani iponza mfethu? Just nje kunele zinto ezincane sihlanganisayo egasi noma ngebla esikhona in our communities that we are different.
Sponsorship fits are never easy to attract. At points, sometimes I would think people that have money, they just they hate people that does community work. That sometimes that's what I think. Because you'll go to them, wholehearted, excited, ready to explain to them why they should invest in that idea.
Sure.
And then they will tell you, they go write us a proposal, of 50 pages, and you're like, wow, what? We are driven by passion. Remember, we don't have page that we can submit. You have to listen to me to actually find out. So some of them, they will ask you for these huge things that you others will ask you to have documents that it's not easy to get. I know other organizations have it. We've been paid to have those documents. Wow. Still we can't receive those documents. That's how difficult to have those documents. But others, they'll be like, if you can give us copies of these certain documents as an organization, your tax exemptions, your PBO certificate, all of those things. It's not easy to have. SARS takes long for them to recognize you as an organization that exists to benefit the community.
Sure.
Because you must be able to also design your profile, have a Facebook page where they can see the work. You must have a banner so that they don't think you're stealing other people's photos, but this is your work. The hashtag so that they can trace. It's a lot, but one is not easy, but being not easy, it does not mean it's not doable. People can have a good profile. If they use that as part of attracting funders. But what we have realized, because it's taken us very hard, is to go to an organization that has money or a company and saying, we understand your focus is on maybe addressing the gender-based violence programs. We are focused on maybe HIV and health. They will tell them that you can never speak about HIV without talking about gender-based violence, because most of people that are HIV positive is through gender-based violence. So we can actually slanganise and have this one huge program which makes HIV and gender-based violence. Now we know they have funding, we have content, and we have audience. So we're bringing audience, which to them could be also customers. These are potential customers that you're bringing in this hall. So you must also have a way of communicating with them. And obviously, for first time, they will not say, okay, we'll sign you a check to do this. No, they will come, they will say, no, Tina, we're going to just bring lunch or bring water or fruit, whatever that they can sponsor. Sometimes they don't even sponsor. They will come, and see if you're able to do this and listen to how you present yourself and how you interact with people, and they will like, okay, no, we can work with this guy. So others, they would like to first see you before they even entertain your proposal. Others, they will just say write. Others, you write, they give you, and you give them reports. So they're different sponsorship, but people should not give up. There's a lot of money circulating in South Africa.
Is it?
But the problem, not everyone is lucky enough to catch the train.
Yeah.
But because when we go outside of South Africa and we tell them, South Africa, we need money, people are like, but there's so much money that is pumped in South Africa, which is true. There's a lot of money in South Africa. There is so much money. That's why you can have a minister of electricity that get 41 million a year, and you'll be like, really? So there's so much money in South Africa. But the problem is, like how Bella said, accountability. I know we suck there. When it comes to administrative in South Africa, we are very poor. That's why every year departments, there's money that they send it back to treasury, but they haven't done the work that they said they will do. Others, they'll be given money in few months. The money will be finished before they even complete the 12 months period which they are given, because they misuse the money. At one point, our department, social development, misused 1 billion.
Is it?
R1 billion. When the minister was asked to come and account, she asked what type of formula did you use to find out that I misused 1 billion. I was like, it's sad. So there's so much money in South Africa. The problem is accountability and administrative. That is the problem.
I'd also say it's accessing it. We don't know how to access it.
Yes.
That's a major issue as well.
Yeah, we don't know how to access it.
Accessing the funds.
So Ngonyama international donors, Ngonyama local donors, Ngonyama who are rich and who are old, who just want to donate. Now they realize, maybe they haven't done so much for their heart, and this is time. But like how Bella said, we don't know where they are, so that you can access them. We have lots of that. Most all of us are rushing there, trying to write proposals, and there is all about how well you can write. It's not about how good you can do the work.
Wow.
When you realize people that get funding there, when you try to trace their work, there's no work.
Jeez.
And when you see people that always get rejected, the amount of work that they're doing on the ground, it's amazing.
It's always funny ukuthi laba basuke benza umsebenzi okuyibona besinocabangile besinoma mcabangile last time she spoke about how artists that are artists nje like are not recognized in the artists, the beauties. Now we have the beauty, we have the Instagram influencers, we have all of those people. I'm not saying they're not artists, but I'm saying she was saying artists that are true artists are not recognized in the artists that they are
recognized
now. So it's always crazy ukubuka abantu abenza umsebenzi emphakathini abaphushayo who doesn't get the recognition, but abantu nje abaseceleni uthi uyabheka uze kuthi umuntu uthola ifunding ethile uthi uyabuza ukuthi wenzani, awazi nani ukuthi wenzani lo muntu loyo.
The sad part of that, others, they will even come and rush you. They'll come to you and be like, what, there's 30,000 that we have, can you do something? Because they want to report, and they'll go to this small organization that they know they want funding, and then they will ask them to have 120 people, and then you must have catering for those, you must hire the hall, you must have sound in that small budget. But because those organizations are desperate, they will accept that so that they can also have financial report, and then someone else can maybe start trusting about 50,000 after the 30. Someone can they want to grow from, because organizations, when you go to the bank and you want assistance, they will ask you, how much have you managed so far as an organization? Only to find out you have zero budget. So they will check that so that they have records to say they were once given so much money and this is what they've used for this money. For that, they will rush and accept those things. But those things are not actually developing or empowering any organization. They are just killing organizations. Because now members of the organization, sometimes they would expect if you're saying we are given money to do a dialogue, for example, maybe voters education, that's what you're going to be seeing now about voters. Voters education every corner. And there'll be those small money that will be giving those community-based organizations. And members will believe if there's money, it means we're going to start getting stipend. And then we tell them, no, it's just for that one-day dialogue, And then it becomes a problem, and people will start blaming you, saying maybe you So it creates problems for the organizations, for the members of the organization, also even for the community. They start saying, oh, now they're able to do this, that means they're funding. So it kills faith. Those people that have money, if they hear us, please. Don't do this. If you're giving organization 30K, now things are inflected. Prices are high.
For sure.
30,000 can only have a dialogue of 10 people, which is not even a dialogue. It's called focus group. You can only have a focus group. You can't expand to fill a hall with so much. It's too much. It drains the organization and it kills the organizations.
Oh, man. Hey, wherever you are, I'm pleading you ukuthi usondele njengamanje. Quickly uzosijoyina because we are having breakfast, lunch, we're having the whole full meal. Siyakhuluma everything about community and the community development more especially, and I have our guest here and they are going on about their work in terms of showing us ukuthi benzani la bekhona emkhakheni yabo. So the miss, I wanted to ask ukuthi so to talk things like now we need to sensitize ourselves around topics that we are talking about gender-based violence.
Sure.
Most recently, and you guys have done work, and in terms of you are still advocating based on that. And I was alluding to the fact last week ukuthi how we are very fast still compared to the time, because it's not happening now as people are seeing it, as people are commenting on socials ukuthi ngihlukunyeziwe. It didn't start here, it didn't start now, it has been going on. And it's crazy how it's still escalating even ukuthi ibuyelele mumva. So how are you guys advocating basically, and also the status, where are we going in South Africa if even now in 2023 we are still experiencing this kind of issues?
It's kind of a hard one,
Yeah.
But well, I am in the pageant industry, but we do integrate it with gender-based violence and all those things. So currently there is a project from one of our friends which is called Mr. Gender-Based Violence, and also Miss GBV, where they create spaces where young people can talk openly about such things happening in their lives, whether you are raped, you're experiencing any kind of violence at home. And it does not only end there, because we have stakeholders coming in. Because me as a person, I am not a social worker, I am not a nurse, I am not a doctor, I am not someone who's qualified to handle such, or a psychologist. So whenever people come to us, we refer them to the appropriate people who will actually handle the situation. So that is how we're trying to decrease, should I say, or that is what we're doing for now.
Because it's an ongoing issue, and it's not, and it seemingly is not ending. It's
not ending, and it's young people now who are mostly experiencing this. So we try by all means to be around in a space where young people are also there and make them feel comfortable talking about such things.
I was even seeing the lady who TikTok, crying the other day. Uthe ubhuti wakhe ngazi iphethe noma kahle kanga iphethe kahle inleyo ndoda, something like that though. She was crying ethi nje sengivele ngavuka ngashawa ngagaxa unyawo ngafaka impama, and people were going crazy and all, like in terms of the comments and stuff. And I was like, how are we not sensitized to sensitive things as people? Sihleke uma kuhlekiswa kusho ukuthini lokho as South Africans for us ukuthi umuntu uphuma publicly kanje uyakhala usushayiwe, you know, but abantu bayahleka, they're making jokes and stuff. Yeah.
I think it's a bit tricky with social media because you never really know what is behind. She could really mean it and people are laughing, but also at the same time she could be just doing it for likes. You know, you never know. There's also filters. There's filters. There's a filter that makes you cry. There's literally a filter that has tears coming out. So now we can never know, but being someone who's in this space, it would be a sensitive issue for me personally, and I would like to understand why would your brother do that to you, what happened, you know, and try to look at the root level of the issue and try to understand it, you know. But gender-based violence, there's no right to it. There's no, even if you take a deeper look at it, it's still wrong.
What are some of the laws that get violated mhlambe umuntu involved with gender-based violence?
Well, number one, it's section 36 in the Constitution. By tripping on someone else's right. It speaks about limitation of right, of human right. So if your Bill of Right, which comes on section 2 of the Constitution, it speaks about everyone has a right, but along the line of the Constitution, there's section 36 that speaks about limitation, which tells us how far can you go with your right. So once you go beyond that, you can be arrested for exercising your right if your right are already trampling on my right. I can actually arrest you for that. So that's what the Constitution says. So I think in South Africa we become very excited on school mama right, and don't even want to talk about responsibilities of those rights, because it's the responsibility that protects you not to trample on someone else's right. So when it comes to right, yes, and there are a number of policies that are there that protects people in general, employees in particular in different companies. You know, they have your sexual harassment policy, and different. So, akona policies that protect people. That the problem, they are not reader friendly. So it's not easy to read them. You can read them, but it's very difficult to understand what you just read. I don't know why they choose to use this type of
things and stuff.
They are
very
boring.
confusing,
confusing and boring.
Boring,
especially for young people.
Yeah, for sure.
I wish they can have a constitution with our language. You know, something that it is for us to remember, it is for us to quote, it is for us to understand, it is for us to use. I think if we can design, if whatever constitution that we have now, if it can be written
in our language,
in an understanding way,
not just our language, in our youthful way, if they have to, you know, use Facebook or mix it language, whatever that can attract people to read.
Crazy.
You know,
crazy.
I mean, it's a formal document that is there with the English that needs a dictionary for you to understand what you just read. It's difficult.
Khona umuntu ongayazi defamation ukuthi yini. Khona umuntu muzi defamation uyamthuka uma ukhuluma with a certain act. Acts ban uyamthuka at the same time.
Court, they read these things. You for you it's like they're saying blah 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 because you're saying I've heard this word, but now it's used in a sentence to arrest someone or to save someone from being arrested. You'll be like, oh, now you're getting more confused. What does this mean? You know, we watch these things that are now live. It's easy now to understand cases because you watch them on TV while you're sitting at home, you know, and you get more lost, which it becomes difficult even for our victims of different formations of violence. You know, they go and report, and someone is in court, and after that you see the person walking on the street
because they use the language that
they didn't understand.
And you'll be like, okay, what went wrong? Does the community understand our right as a community to be now be protected from this guy that is just doing, or this woman that is doing this what you call it, abuse? Do even our system understands how one feels when one is now not arrested anymore. So you're looking at police, looking at justice, looking at social development, because they need to give you a social worker that must counsel you and take you through and understand why you need to be protected or why it's right now of it. We in the era where why men are angry. You know, men are very angry out there. And they didn't just wake up and being angry.
What do you know, obviously?
But basically it's about a system. That sometimes they feel they are sidelined by the system. Not only just when you're dealing with gender-based violence, but everything. When you're looking at employment. When you look at employment, a woman must be prioritized in that company. And if they have more women in that company, they'll be taxed even less. You know, so people that own companies want to have more women, you know, than men.
For sure.
And people, when you bring this topic, they'll but men were advantaged. Before women were disadvantaged. You'll be like, so you are reversing
and when you are going on about men, the lack of men would bafagwe, and then now seemingly like
and mind you, in communities that we grow up, if we are taught from young that as a man or as a boy you must provide and protect, and the only thing that can allows and gives you that power is you having resources, which is money, is you working, is you getting salary. If you do not have those things, you're exposed of being angry now. And some people result wanting to feel important by using violence, because there's nothing else that can offer except violence. And people don't when they trickle down this violence and femicide, they miss the financial part of it. We look at who said what, but why did you say this? But we don't look at the psychological things that are driven this, because you can't tell them you are 100% human and you stab someone that you say you love for 20 times. Something that man died long ago. Psychologically, that person died long ago, but no one paid attention. Some of these men from the young or early age, they've been molested and they never spoke about that because no one is giving them an ear. We have nice programs that seek to protect and promote and educate young girls. It's very rare to find program that's doing the very same thing for the boys. So you have these nice girls that are empowered and educated, and you have these guys that are this side, which are just smart street. And they are there to. It always clash. That's why we always fight.
I remember it once because the only person that I've seen in South Africa, out from South Africa, who had a program like that was Steve Harvey once. The camp for men, I think Boys to Men camp, something like that.
Boys to Men.
So he was coming all the way from USA, recruits kids around the bafundis about daughter, and stuff. So we basically need programs like that more. I don't know what because that's always an issue. Is it government who should come with things, or is it us who should come up with things?
It's us that should come up with things, because we are the ones that are suffering. And then government must then support in terms of now addressing the policies, because we're in a democratic country that is using constitution. So if you don't have any document that supports what you do, it's very difficult for you to get funding. So government must start infusing it in what we have, and then start having, because once you have a policy without a budget backing it up, it's a useless policy. It says around the world we have the best constitution in the world in South Africa. The problem, we can't implement it because we don't have financial to back it up. There's no budget to do what the constitution is saying we're supposed to be doing or we're supposed to be getting. There isn't that budget that can support that.
But then at the same time, you said there's money that goes back. So why is that money not taken and put into those policies so that
policies and stuff
they can be implemented?
If we had one minister here and asking them that question, they'll read us policies just to confuse. We need to account. But you can always account and say the money that was not used to build roads, we took it to that community that has 10 chartered home, and we gave them uniform. You can account for that money. that department can be, applauded for doing that.
Yeah.
But they'll rather say, no, that job is for DSD, so we'll take this money and take it back because we couldn't build a road.
Mese kubanjani?
And it's not like they're gonna get a salary increase or something. No. The worst about that is that in the following year, when they request budget, they'll get lesser than what they were given because it shows that they couldn't utilize what they were given before, which is bad. But also, what other departments are doing, they waste the money so that the following year they can request more budget because now it shows that the budget wasn't enough for them.
It was used.
It's your fair to it. The corrupt is just too much in our country. From those that are wasting money and those that are just sending money back, it's all corruption.
I'm surprised because this overflowing of imali at the same time corruption is always like a dominant thing. So if now we're trusted by imali, and we were talking about imali for projects, and it's all about the trust. Misuse most of the times, and most of the leaders that we have seemingly are doing that. So umuntu mayo citizen awazi ukuthi uzobalekela laphi, awazi ukuthi uzokwenza ini, because uyabuka ukuthi noma ngathiwa kungenzakalani sohlezi sinepipe eqhumile la emphakathini, noma ngathiwa kwenzakalani sohlezi sine udoti ungaqoqwa kunoloko okukhona nje okuyi ngathini ukucopha ukuthi cha asiyiphambili njenge South Africa, asiyiphambili as the community, because we are built according to the community. So masiphuma sengaphandle abantu babuka ukuthi siphuma ke kule ndawo. So sesikhulumile kuningi. We have and I also have so many questions. You are dealing with adolescent and sexual reproductive. They are doing some things based on that. So what is that? Basically, nibeka nje umbukele emakhaya ukuthi masithi nje adolescent sexual and sexual reproductive health is sikhuluma
okay, so adolescent, it's ranged in different age group.
Yes.
But when you're talking of health, our adolescents start from 12 years. But we've realized that people get pregnant at the age of 9 years and they deliver in our hospital at the age of 10 years. So starting at 12, we are, 4 years later. So we need to start now from 9 years. Speaking about sexuality, when you speak of sexuality, when this was addressed at Parliament, people were very angry. Parents, actually, they thought government is talking about teaching, kids about sex in school instead of educating them. But government realized that if they are not empowered about their body, because when you're talking of comprehensive sexual education, you're talking of them realizing who they are in terms of gender, in terms of sexuality, what is their preference, so that when they grow up, they understand what I have this, I'm a guy, I have this. If these two things meet, this is what happened. Because others, they'll watch from their phones or whatever from movies, and they want to try it out. If they are not taught, if they do this, this is what will happen. Now, consequences that will happen. You have a child, you'll be pregnant, you'll be a mother while you're a child. This will delay you, and all of those. It becomes a challenge. So that on the sexuality part. And then when you speak of reproductive, I think it still adds on also understanding your body even more. What is your body made of?
The elements.
Because the reproductive also goes with what you eat. Which is, again, it's kind of not fair, because if you don't have money, you can't have enough nutrition that, delays your hormone and delays your sex debut and all of those things that we just eat anything that we can afford. And some of the food that is cheaper is the food that, drives our hormone very high. So it's a challenge. But the sexual reproductive health right, we're talking about people's sexuality, people's reproductive right, and people's also health right. What is your right? I think Upela spoke about that earlier on to say when she was Miss HIV ambassador, she was doing a lot of advocacy on the policy side and also on the interventions, that when a young person goes to clinic, they should expect to have a nurse that is young, a nurse that understands the language, a nurse that you're not going to be scared to say, hey nurse, I tried to use a condom, but second round it didn't happen, hence I'm here. And I'm not judge, but guide you to
because
say, okay.
I wanted to go there, would see how do as well, because sikhuluma nabantu abasha futhi la as well. Siba involve kanjani abantu abasha to the health system yethu, because
Sure.
now we mentioned the fact ukuthi abo nurse moya e clinic banokusho lokho
She's gonna take us through that
and stuff, but hey bulalelani wena awazini ukuthi mawulala kwenzeka into enje. So how do we move away from that being stereotype and stigma and nongafundiseki?
All right, we do have our dialogues, and we do go from school to school to teach young people, and also honest nabo bayafundiswa manje. As much as you find a situation where yes, there is a champion at the clinic, but akanalo uthando lokwenza lento ayibekelwe la, but you find that there's umuntu omdala yena lo obethetha before, when a young person comes and says I had sex, but now because they understand ukuthi umuntu omusha, there are interventions where befundiswa honest ukuthi how do you treat umuntu omusha, how do you handle a certain situation now. So mayifika mntanami, what happened? Sasho ha ulala umncane kangaka yindaba bafundise ekhaya, but because sizama ukulwisana nalento ye HIV nama STIs nani, so it's very good that there are interventions where honest bayafundiswa nabo ngokwabo, and also as we go to schools we have programs where we educate young people on these things, and also nabo bazi ukuthi mufike clinic now there's AYFS, which is adolescent youth friendly services, where a young person will come to a clinic akasamik line manje, they go straight to a champion. And they get assisted, especially when you're wearing a school uniform. When you go to the clinic, back fast tracker, fast, and you get your things. And also fighting against lentuleyokuthi abantu abasha when they're going to the clinic ukuthi bayolanda amaphilisi wabo kunesicapha esibhaliwe lapha HIV counseling, HIV this, HIV that. So others, they don't go to the clinic because of that, because now when I go through that door for sure uyazi ukuthi ngiyolanda amaphilisi
umngane akho uzobona ukuthi hayi sibonile ngena
So we're trying to ukuthi ama clinic abe more youth friendly, so that young people would not default on their medication. Young people would adhere to their medication. They will protect themselves. They will use condoms. They will use OPEP or PrEP, and we educate them on all those things.
Phela azinge ngithi kubalekile ukuthi masikhuluma noma si inform abantu sikhulume ngolimi abazol understand. Yabona ayikho into enzima besikhuluma ngeconstitution njengamanje ukuthi I complicated ngalendlela because ibhale with another narrative esingayi understand kahle. So omunye uzothi but isikone simnandi nje. Yabo when it's come to ulonto njani indaba zokulalana uyabafundisa ukuthi ba prevent kanjani, uyagqoka icondom kanjani athi umuntu komnandi nje ukulala ngaphandle kwecondom.
They do say that.
Yabo so sithini kulabo abasho kanjalo and nabasathatha
uthi ngibathathe lapha ngiyabathatha ke lapha. No, it's true, simnandi, we can't shy away from that. But again, we're going back to that's your right, right? Your right yakho le ukushaya isikuni, but uyayazi ni responsibility yesikuni. The responsibility yesikuni comes with ingane. Are you prepared for ingane or you're not prepared for ingane? That's one.
Comes with STIs.
STIs. Are you prepared for STIs? Khumbula ukuthi HIV is an STI engalapheki STI. There are different STIs. Are you prepared for those STIs? Imagine again now unengane and there's STIs. Are you prepared for that? So school, yes, simnandi, but responsibilities of that are those things. Now, this is what we can educate people on. Sthabile did mention PrEP, which is show in passing. So we have a medication which is called PrEP. PrEP is a pre-exposure prophylaxis. Prophylaxis means prevention in our simple English. So it's a pill that you take every day, and that pill is for people who are HIV negative. So you take that pill every day. once you take it for every day for 21 days, then at least iphili selingenele emzimbeni wakho, but you don't stop, you continue to take it. That is to protect you not get infected with HIV. Right? Not STIs. STIs. That's why I always say condom prevent STIs,
all round.
HIV, pregnancy, you know. So that pill helps you to stay HIV negative, PrEP. But also to prevent STIs, use condom. Yabo. And also to prevent pregnancy, because PrEP is only for HIV, not pregnant as well. So have your PrEP and also take your condom, so that you know ukuthi awunazo inkinga. Ungafika enjoy manje, so enjoy manje kube mnandi, kube right ukhuluma kahle manje hayi shine is good, but it comes after 9 months. Are you ready
for my results? Nangu sibonona.
Hayi nobani lo sisithe ingane obani omadluda yabona usela, are you ready to take care of a child? Are you ready to be a parent? So there are a number of things that people must consider. It's winter, we understand. For amantombazane khona into ekuthiwa i-microposite or i-hope ring, it's a vagina ring efakwe enkomeni to also protect them from STIs, STD, even HIV.
For sure.
But they must know ukuthi isebenza kanjani. Leyo nto leyo ihlala for 28 days inside enkomeni. After 28 days fanele ayikhipha thatha afake enye futhi. That is for her to be protected in case besebenzisa condom iqhuma and the person now with HIV angatheleleki. Yabo. But that ring also does not protect them from getting pregnant. It only protects them from getting HIV. So we always preach dual protection. Use every tool that is there and also accompany it with a condom so that you know what you are protected.
Wow.
Also, what I want to add with regards to abantu abathanda school, ukuthi as much ushilovela ukuthi you also have a responsibility, right? Think about it now. Child is school, you get HIV, right? You also get the girl pregnant. But now, because you're also not educated, whatever child she's having is going to be HIV positive. So now it contributes to the increase of the spread of HIV. So yeah, responsibility is very much important, as much as needs school.
And so on this, now before you go, there's one thing that must she's going to expect me to come with a condom. Irresponsibility of sex is for both of us. Don't expect me to keep a condom. My pet, keep it. I know. Don't worry, we are sorted, Nance.
Hey.
Yabo. That's your responsibility. You don't want to have a child, and you don't have STIs.
Now you
part now. Don't, because how much you have this tendency of saying, ish, because why? For the school.
But won't you think as a girl, would see if I have a condom, I sleep around often, and then I carry a condom around?
Look, it's your right and your responsibility.
You mean
they will have all whatever that they want in their mind, but at the end of the day, when you protecting yourself.
True.
If a phone, not condom. It takes a discipline. Yes, increase again, but you have protected yourself.
Wow. Yeah. It's too much. It's too much, Ngempela. I had an amazing segments, Nani guys. I had informing everybody, informing the South Africa at large about everything pertaining them.
Sure.
And I know that you guys are dealing with Sosovala, and I know that you guys are dealing with most importantly the youth. How do we get the youth to be involved in any partner our community, in any partner uqhubekela kwethu phambili? Kungabi nje kuphela manje. Yabo. Oh manje. Stis, hey. Phela nje manje abantu bazi ukuthi azini mangishayele lento engiyishayayo ngihambe ngiyohlala namajita ngihambe ngiyohlala naba nosisi nama girls ku grand kuphelele kanjalo asi-involvement wenibalulekile simuva kanjani away from ukuthi siyabalansisa we not only just abantu abasha sifake inselele sifake isandla emphakathini sifake isandla eSouth Africa in terms of development.
Every social platform that young people are dominated on, you're starting from your WhatsApp, which is the easiest and the instant one, your Instagram, your Facebook, your TikTok. We tried to join them a challenge just so that we can attract them. But through that, there's an invite that says, hey, Saturday it's Kwamohle, wherever at 1 we're having a dialogue on what, we're having a discussion, we're having a workshop. You know, we write posters and this is one thing she's good at. She knows how to influence people to say, use this as your post this on your status.
She has a graphic company as well.
Yeah. And she's
Also.
very humble. She did not even mention that.
And
to remember the question that she was saying she's not sure, but she is on number 39 on the titles. The title that she's holding now it's one more to 40. I've been counting. No, I've been counting and counting. She's on 39 now.
Sure.
So yes, it's young people. There are programs for you. We just came back from Articulate Africa. It was nothing that was focused on youth. But we go there and we claim space. Young people, go to any event, claim your space.
And you are
claim
good
your
at that.
space.
And you have been doing it. And you are good channeling youth ukuthi bangene emkhakheni la bengainvesta ngakhona, which is very, 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 very good. And siyafisa ukuthi ngempela abantu, because bangathi kuphela kuyaphelela la ekuthenini now siku TikTok, now izinto zihamba grand usilinda uhulumeni. And I like the fact ukuthi ni highlight ukuthi singamlindi uhulumeni, because now you see the high levels of unemployment, abantu abaqashiwe, abantu abasebenzi, abantu bafundile, they are graduating whatsoever. We're not shining away from the fact ukuthi our economy is lapsing as much as imali overflow. Yabo. And abantu abasha ba involve nezinto ezenziwayo not for the benefits of uhulumeni, but doing it for them,
themselves,
for them
to grow.
So guys, thank you so much. I know ukuthi ni busy and kukhona nezinto enizenzayo. What are some of the things that you guys are currently busy with? Bella, we've just mentioned that you've got the company, Ngonyama graphics.
I do have a small business which is called Apples Graphics. It's where because I like something that is personal to someone, something that will feel related to you. So what I do is I do graphics on your picture or a selfie. I edit and I make it into a cartoon, and then I print it on your t-shirt, your hoodie, or wherever. And then I also do canvases where it's like a portrait picture where you can hang it on your wall or wherever.
Or digital.
Fourth industrial.
Shout out to her, man.
I also print it on Nkomishi, literally anything that will feel personal to you. I print whatever you want me to print. So
where can people find your work?
I am at a West Walk building, 6th floor, room 627B.
And your social handles?
I am personal, it's Bella Sthabile, literally everywhere, Bella Sthabile. And for my company, it's Apples Graphics. Even on Facebook, it's Apples Graphics. Instagram, it's Apples Graphics. So yeah, advertising. I also sell crowns, pageant crowns, because it is a space that I'm in.
Wow, that's great. Uzzi, what are you doing with my brother? What are you busy with right now? And where can people find you?
So Youth Interactive, we have a space that we've claimed to our space. We said we claim our space as young people, which is at Kwamohle Museum. That's a space where it's an HIV museum. We conduct that museum. We always have programs. Every Saturday there's a program that you are doing there. But sometimes we always want people to be the one that propose to have a certain program. Because when it's just us doing programs, they get bored. But if it's them that ask us to say, hey, can we have this type of can we come and converse on this topic, we always be happy. Other than that, it's the ink area. We're busy with the SGPV. Hey, this abbreviation.
Yeah.
So about GPV, then it was
GPV,
GPVF. Now it's SGPVF.
So
So we're busy with gender-based violence programs in community and in schools. So we have a community programs which are focused on people that are out of school. Then we have the one that are in school, because we realize there's bullying and many other things happening in school. So we're addressing those things right now up until September this year. That's what we're going to be doing in schools and in community. Yeah.
Also at Kwamuhle we do have dialogues on HIV prevention, STIs, and also just the literal background of HIV, how it started.
Yeah. So what we were talking about here, if they
We
want
have
more
a
of those
whole
information,
museum for it.
Abambele.
Aye.
So they can find us at Youth Interactive. That is my organization.
sure,
Youth
for sure.
Interactive. There's a nice YIA logo. If you don't see that logo, then it's not us.
Hey, Yasaba, and I've so much. It's burning up in the studio. You know, there's so much energy and there's so much information circulating around. Angazi ukuthi ngempela, if you're not tuning in into this today's episode, what are you doing? But I enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to go to Kulani. Check in terms of what they're doing online, and also check us, follow us, man, support us, because we need our own interaction. Tell us what you think, because we are posting these videos and we are doing these segments and we are doing this episode each and every time, not only for us, but we are trying to inform you and training you and plugging you to the people, to the right people. So we need your interaction for us to grow. We need you to be there as our own community. So siyabonga kakhulu for tuning in. Like, comment and subscribe. From us to you, it's only love and light, and we're hoping to see you on the next episode. Habash.